Hello and welcome to the Brick News, the weekly show on all things brick building where we talk about set updates and announcements from all the major brands, MOCs of the week, and a few reading recommendations as well. Information is presented as always by setb.org, the best source for set information on the internet, and this is where we are actually going to go. Actually not much to talk about in regards to new features, however, just as a quick FYI, I've worked a lot behind the scenes on performance on the site, so especially I think on mobile connected devices with kind of restraints on connectivity. This hopefully shows up. However, because I've basically turned every stone over here or every brick, there may be some ditches here and there. So if you do see anything of that, I think just drop me a mail, like support@merlinsbricks.com is the easiest way, I guess. But yeah, just let me know if in kind you see any new upcoming problems. I mean, in general, please let me know in case you find any glitches, issues, bugs on the site. However, let's get started right away. We will start with BAKA, and here we have two availabilities over in China. However, I mean, it was international shipping, of course. So Baowi has now available the Magic Castle from BAKA. That's 33210. This bad boy has 8,510 pieces, so not too shabby, and it's gonna cost you around $200, which is quite a bargain, I would argue. 2.4 cents a piece. So this is not a small set. It's quite enormous, actually. I haven't counted the studs, but these should be at least, I think these are 248 by 48 base plates, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyhow, it is an enormous set. I mean, it is a Magic Castle, so there's a lot of pink and purple and gold involved. Of course, a lot of folks kind of tag usually Disney castles as an inspiration. I would say this one can stand on its own. However, there's a lot of pink involved. With that, we're moving on to the Spartan helmet, the 33900. That's a much smaller set, has only 590 pieces, and it's available now in China for around $22. That's 3.7 cents a piece. As always, please keep in mind, shipping, customs, etc. All of that, of course, may vary depending on where you live. So what I basically do is, usually the prices include shipping into Central Europe because it's where I'm located, so that's what I picked. However, again, it really depends on the country you're living in. And with that, we're moving on to BlueBrixx, our brand over here from Europe, and they have now available the fire department wheel loader, the 107502. It's a small set, actually. It has only 269 pieces, and BlueBrixx is selling this one over here in Europe for around $15. Keep in mind, as always, in Europe, that includes tax. In other regions of the world, obviously not. It's a small set, but I do really like the loader design, especially. That's quite nice. It is a fire department loader, so that's why it's completely in red. But I guess you can use it on construction sites, etc., as well. As I think, according with that one, or together with that one, we have another set available, the 107499, the fire department tanker. I'm not sure if tanker is the right word here, but anyhow, this is how BlueBrixx is calling it, so that's what I will do as well. It's going to cost you $20, and it has 343 pieces, so that's a 6-stud vehicle, so I guess mostly comparable to, for instance, Lego City. However, it will not fit very well if you're more like in the 8-stud area, like using speed champions and stuff in your city. In this case, I guess it may look a bit weird, but next to that, it is quite a nice design. However, because it has only 6 studs width, it means it's a single minifigure design. So, but obviously that also means it should fit very well with older street layouts, etc., etc. Then they have available from their pirate lineup the Governor's Island, or part of the subline Governor's Island of the pirate line, and it's called Place of Execution, which is a bit weird, but I mean, if that is your cup of tea, the 107599, and yes, I mean, this is where I guess all the pirates get executed, or Johnny Depp has a lot of fun jumping around, maybe, to put in a more cheerful note, but in general, yes, this is where people got hanged, which is Interesting. Anyhow, of course, this is part of the entire modular concept that BlueBrixx has, both with the pirate sets as well as with the Governor Island set. So here on the left you have the harbor, I think on the right you have the tavern, but a lot of these are highly modular, so you can basically put them together any way you want. I'm not sure, here's not a picture of the modules, but I will show you in a second from a different set. The modularity concept, but basically I guess this set here will be something like, I don't know, 8 to 10 different modules all connected by Technic pins, so you can basically use that mechanism in order to create a larger diorama. It has also kind of a cove below the place of execution, so that's quite interesting as well. As always, good chance for pirates basically to get in. With that, we are coming to the pirate subline of the pirates, and that is called Pirate Island. And here we have the Reef Outposts, a set that I actually ordered yesterday night because I'm really looking forward to this one. This is a 107096, pretty large one. I think it's one of the largest ones of the entire line. Let me just check. Yes, out of this line, it is for sure the largest one. Before that came the Governor's Island and had roughly half the piece count. So this thing is enormous. And it's going to cost you 140 bucks over here in Europe, now available. And I think with this one, they had also a modularity picture. So this gives you an idea in general how these sets work. And of course, you can put them together any way you want, which also means, I mean, this is a pretty deep set. I mean, I don't have any size numbers on BlueBrixx, but I mean, just count the numbers here on the stats. If you build it like this, but using the modules, you could also put it on a much more shallow shelf, basically, because you can rearrange it any way you want. The interesting part is the ship, because they also announced a Reef Outpost expansion for this one, the 107230. It has additional 862 pieces, and I would argue, based on what I see here, that you should be able to put all of these ship's components together as well. However, I'm not 1% sure. Like I said, I have ordered the big Reef Outpost, not the expansion, so I can't confirm that, but I think there are some ways not just to extend the island, but the ship as well, or the stranded ship, whatever you might call it. And then we have the Astronomer's Lighthouse top-up kit, the 107780. So this is an extension as well. In a nutshell, let me just filter here on Astronomer. So in the past, they had the Astronomers. Where's the lighthouse? No lighthouse? That's unfortunate. Why is that? Let me just double check. I was looking for... I think it was not called Astronomers, but yeah, it was called the Astronomer Lighthouse, so without an S. So there was this lighthouse set, and you could basically combine this lighthouse set with other sets. I mean, you still can. Actually, additional and big extensions have been announced as well. The problem was that if your lighthouse is combined, for instance, with, I think it was called the planetarium. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, this one here, the Astronomer's Planetarium, the 107284. So if you combine the lighthouse with the planetarium, which you can put them together, and they're even like bridges included so that the astronomer can get from one building to the other. The problem was then that the planetarium is so huge that you basically couldn't see the lighthouse anymore. At least the lighthouse light would not be able to shine like everywhere as a good lighthouse should. So I think the idea here is, okay, let's just make the lighthouse a bit higher, and for that they have sold or are selling now this set. It has 325 pieces, so that's not much, but I guess you can buy multiple of these depending on how high you want to get your lighthouse. But yeah, here we go, an extension. And then we have availability of the heavy 203mm M110A2 self-propelled howitzer from the German Army / Bundeswehr 107627. So that's from the Army line of BlueBrixx, the 1x30 line that they have of the German armed forces. And yes, I mean, as the name should suggest, what is in German a Panzerhaubitze is basically a self-propelled propelled howitzer. I think that is how it is called. They called it a 2-in-1 set because you can basically make the cannon a bit longer, i.e. switch between the M110 and M107 version. So this could be one of the biggest guns that you can buy with BlueBrixx, but if that is your cup of tea and if you're into European army building, then here you go. Then they have announced what they call the Palisade expansion, the 108057. It's going to have 897 pieces. And in a nutshell, this is for Burg Blaustein. So let me just... So they have announced quite some time ago this Min Tower. So the Min Tower expansion for Castle Blaustein is extending the castle itself, but it's also adding a lot of palisade. However, they have also added before that a couple of additional buildings that you could put, that you can put outside of Blaustein, and then basically, and you can connect them to the palisade. However, if you do that, you may run out of palisade or may run out of space. As you can see here, this palisade is quite tight with the castle. So I guess my guess is that the idea is that you can use this expansion so that you can add not just additional palisade, but also have enough room and space to add all these buildings that have already a connection point with the palisade. So this expansion, as you can see, is highly modular. That means basically you're free wherever you want to go. I mean, you can buy multiple of these and you can go in every direction you're interested in. You have these tiny like connection points or towers almost in there. So it means you can go into different directions around them, etc., etc. So that's the idea. So in a nutshell, I think you can, I don't know how many square feet that is, but have like a diorama with 2 square meters or something like that, like 2 meters by 1, and just add palisade, add additional buildings, maybe use many others of the BlueBrixx medieval sets and put them inside the palisade, stuff like that. So here you go. And with that, we're moving on to the 108280, the Dwarven Forest Mine, which is quite an interesting like micro build or architectural build, whatever you may call it, of a mine basically. I mean, it's a gold mine. I mean, I don't know what is dwarven about it, besides, I mean, of course, with all the water and the gold, it has a certain, like, fantastical look to it, but I guess you could use it also for other mining scenarios. But yeah, it's quite a nice build, quite a nice micro build, couple of interesting building techniques in there. Nice play with the green coloring here, the bright green, and dark green, and yeah, interesting build also for the trees. Really like that, but yeah, let's see. And then they have a ton of gold in there as well. With that, we're coming to a quick update. I mean, the Akagi is still not available. So for those of you who may have missed that and who are a bit Cobi fans, like what is going on with Akagi, I think the issue is that Cobi had a large fire in one of their factories a couple of months ago, and because of that, Akagi and I guess also a couple of other sets were heavily delayed. So I pre-ordered this one, I think, in February. So that's many months ago. I think it was supposed to release in April, if I recall correctly, and now we are already in July. So, however, based on what I've heard, it is coming close. And I think one good signal could also be that the Akagi is, that now Cobi themselves released a few more information, but also the official pictures, which I guess is a good sign. So just as an update from this one, you can still, pre-order these, for instance, in Europe with Brickmo, in North America with BlueBrixx. So I'm definitely waiting on mine, and maybe I will even publish a speed build. I'm not 1% sure yet. Maybe I will also do a live stream over here in Germany. In German, but let's see. I've not decided yet how I want to build this bad boy, and in fact, I will go into vacation going forward 2 weeks from now, I think. So I'm not even 1% sure. If my luck is true, then this thing will arrive while I am out of office. Anyhow. just a quick update here on this one. However, we also have an update or more information now on two Tiger tanks. So these are German Second World War tanks. First, we have Königstiger, so that's tank number 4, Panzer 4, Panzer 6, I'm sorry. So this is a 3113. This is the regular set of the Tiger 2, if you will, aka Königstiger. And this is a 1x35 model from Cobi, and to my knowledge, let me just quickly check. So they have done a model in this size a couple of years ago. This was the 2540. So this one now, the 3113, is basically a updated version of it. It's going to cost you in North America around $75 US, and over here in Europe around 60 euros. However, we are still in pre-order, so this is not arrived in retail yet. But with all the information, usually it means it's basically around the corner if Cobi is releasing all the pictures. And then we have the Tiger number 1, which is available or can be pre-ordered in executive edition. So this is, let me just double check, has Cobi done a Tiger 1? So of course they have done the very large one, but I think no, this is the Tiger 2. So I'm not 100% sure if they have done this before, but yes, this is the Tiger 1 with the very iconic turret and the very square shape, if you will. And in the executive edition, we are talking about the 2587. You will pay around $105 over in North America, and over here in Europe around 86. Both in pre-order still, but again, I do assume they will be on the corner. These are 1x28 models, so this is a pretty large one. It will feature 1,207 pieces and one minifig. That's a bit unfortunate, only one minifig in executive edition, but I guess people don't buy these for the minifigures. You have an interior in this one, below the turret, of course, but also an engine room. Pretty standard for 1x28 models, nevertheless, I guess one of the most detailed Tigers you can buy from them in still a reasonable size. Obviously, they did this enormous 1x12 version a couple of months ago. Anyhow, with that, we're moving on to JIESTAR, and here we have seen in China a bonsai tree collection. It's called the Bonsai Diary Leisure Time, the 9080. So these are 6 plants, potted plants overall in the set for 5, and they use 520 pieces for that. It's going to cost you around $19. Again, keep an eye on shipping and customs depending on where you live. With that, we're moving on to LEGO, and here we have announced the announcement for the new idea set, JAWS, the 21350. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure I put in a link here. There's a mishap here in the data. Should also be a link to the original ideas entry, but I would argue that what LEGO has come up with is pretty close to the original ideas entry. However, but what they have done is they have made basically a diorama out of it. However, next to the diorama piece, you also have kind of a stand, this one, where you can put the shark on, and then you can just put the boat extra. So you have basically flexibility here. You have the entire shark on a stand, or part of the shark in the diorama attacking the boat. However, you have only one of the two options, of course. There's only one shark included. However, it should not be too complicated to get the pieces to make a second shark. I would argue 3 minifigures included. It's around 60 centimeters, if I see this correctly, and 35 in height, or in inches, roughly below 20 or a little bit above 23 inches wide, and slightly below 14 inch. No, this is wrong. No, here in the size. I'm correct. Am I not? Yes. 59 centimeters is a little bit more than 23 inches in width, and in height it's 35 centimeters or slightly below 14 inches. Oh my god, this is complicated. We should maybe come to an agreement worldwide what of the two we are going to use. Anyhow, LEGO is asking for around 150 bucks over here in Europe. Same is true for dollars US, and this is actually quite pricey. I mean, if you compare it, I don't know, let's take the cat. I mean, yes, the cat doesn't have any minifigures It doesn't have a license. You don't need a license for a cat, but it's 5.8 cents a piece. And the boat now is 10, which is quite a difference. Obviously, I do not know yet how heavy this is going to be, like how much stuff do you get for your money. But I don't know, 150 bucks sounds pricey. Let's put it that way. This is basically the territory of the Dungeons and Dragons set, which I think was already a bit overpriced. Plus, I don't know, it was Dungeons and Dragons and had like a bazillion minifigures and stuff. So I don't know why Lego thinks they can ask for 150 bucks. Just basically for a boat and a shark, right? I mean, that's about that. And the boat is not that big. It's a lot smaller than the one that we had in the Bricklink Designer Program, for instance. Anyhow, I guess Shark is a very iconic movie, so I'm pretty sure Lego will be able to sell a lot of these. And then we have announcements for 2 additional speed champions. First of all, for the Ferrari F40 supercar, the 76934. So this is, I think, the first F40 that Lego has done in the 8-stud speed champion format. So they have done a 6-stud one in 2019, so 5 years ago. Which was quite a nice car, I think. It also had kind of a 2-in-1 function, so you can make different Ferraris out of it, different rims and stuff. The new one, I guess, maybe it has 2 sets of rims. I'm not 100% sure. Anyhow, so this is an F40 in the 8-stud format, and I would say from the brick build design, it looks quite neat. However, it has like a bazillion stickers, so I'm not sure if I really like that, especially, I mean, it looks decent with the red stickers on the red pieces, but always keep in mind that Lego is photoshopping these, at least in my experience. So I'm not 100% sure if the sticker color matches that well as it looks here with the brick color. But yeah, I mean, the window is at least printed. Also, these back pieces here are printed, so that looks quite nice. And however, it looks even that this Ferrari sticker that is on the side of the tile is also a sticker. That is awful. Lego should really not do this anymore. I mean, they have done so much better. Just look at the current Audi, which has all the nice prints on the side of the tiles, while here, this Ferrari, it looks like a sticker again. Anyhow, the brick build design looks nice. However, what is even cooler, in my point of view, is the NASCAR Next Gen Chevrolet Camaro ZL1, the 76935, and what is really cool about this one, besides of having a couple of very cool prints, at least the Chevrolet logo here and on the front looks like a pad printed piece, but also the rims or the tires, to be more precise. But look at this spoiler. This is, I think, one of the coolest building techniques I've ever seen in Speed Champion, just by looking at it. It seems these corner pieces here in TransClear, these are the new pieces that they introduced with, let's say, the Japanese sets that they did, like the architecture set and also this bonsai tranquil garden set. I don't recall the numbers. So this is really, really cool. And now we have it in TransClear and they used it here for a spoiler. But there's also, if you look at it from the back, they used one of these inverted tiles to stabilize it. This is amazing, really. Great stuff from the Lego design team. However, of course, the set also has like a bazillion stickers, but nevertheless, I'm really looking forward to it. Quite a nice pilot as well. Obviously, you do need to like the color scheme. However, and there's all these stickers, but I'm pretty sure the set should also look quite well without the stickers. Plus, if you look at the bonnet or the hood, depending on where you live, it looks like this. What is this? Like a 3x3 tile. This looks a little bit like pad printed with the American flag on it, which is quite cool. Interesting car. Also a ton of detail on the inside. So I hate the color scheme, to be honest. It's really not my cup of tea, but still I really want to build this one because it looks quite amazing. And then we have another weird set. So Lego has announced some time ago that they will get the Technic Koenigsegg JIESTAR Absolute Grey Hypercar, which is the 4213-173. This one was, as the name suggests, in grey, dark bluish grey to be precise. And now they have basically announced to bring the same car also in white. So they will have the same set in 2 colors. So I'm not sure if that was a good idea to make this one in white, because it means you have a ton of white stickers on white pieces. And as always, LEGO has the huge problem that their white is not the same as paper white. And as a result, white stickers always look, at least in my point of view, in my opinion, horrible on white pieces. Actually, Cobi would do a lot better because they have a much more or colder or brighter white, if you will. So Cobi could get away with this, but they don't because Cobi is pet printing everything. But Lego is using stickers, so if I were Lego, I would avoid any kind of white sets that need stickers because it always looks horrible. Plus, you have all the colorful pins, Technic pins on it here, like all the blue pins and the red ones. So I don't know. I don't think that this was a good idea. The color is not helping the car. But let me know in the comment section what you think. Maybe you are so into this into this white Königsegg, but I don't think that it was a good idea. But yeah, here we go. With that, we're moving on to Sembo, and here we have over in Europe availability of a set that is called Desert Rally, which I think is kind of like a combined package of these 4 cars, and I assume also this rally, I guess it's something like Paris-Dakar scenario diorama for the 4 rally cars, which is really, really cool. And BlueBrixx is selling this one for $50 over here, 3.7 cents a piece, not too bad, 1,343 pieces. So I don't know, it looks really cool. I really like it. So my understanding is you have these diorama pieces as part of every car, and because this is like a collection, you buy all 4 cars. And then you have this. Then you can build this entire diorama with all the 4 cars, which look all quite nice on their own. With that, we're moving on to ZHEGAO, and here we have over in China availability of 2 insect sets. It's called the series is called Wonderful Insecti. Not 100% sure. And anyhow, we have in here in this line 2 sets. Insect Garden 133001. There is a snail in there. I don't know. Is a snail an insect? I may be wrong here. I mean, this is like my high school biology, but I don't know. But you have also flies and butterflies and dragonflies and beetles in there, and so that's pretty cool. And like I said, for 312 pieces, you pay around $13 over in China. And then you have another set with actually slightly bigger insects. So in this one here is only 4 of them. I think in the other one it was more like 8. And so these are slightly bigger. You have a praying mantis, I think is the English name, and different kind of beetles. Actually, I didn't even know in German. I do not even know in German how these are called. For sure, I do not in English. Anyhow, if you're into insects, $300, so, 300 pieces, $13, not too shabby. With that, we're moving on to a reading recommendation. I have written a review on MOCs 33031. So this is another building that is designed by, I guess his name is Kevin Peters. Everywhere says Peters Kevin, but I'm pretty sure Kevin is the first name. Anyhow, this is a mock that is available on BlueBrixx, and I think I've seen Flickr pages already quite a while ago. Quite amazing, to be honest. And I just saw, do you see this here on the top right corner? I think this is one of the glitches I was talking about. So yes, I definitely need to work on this button. Anyhow, let's come back to this review. So these are 3 sets. I think if you buy on BlueBrixx, you buy the entire collection by means of instruction. Morg has made, however, 3 sets out of that, which is very cool because you can use all of them individually on their own. So I have a picture here. So this is how they look on their own. But of course, the big drawback is that they look very nice usually from one side, but a bit blunt, a bit simple from the other one. And the reasons, of course, this is a connection point to the other set. However, as you can see here, the base has like a piece that is connected through Technic pins. And with that is basically something that you can remove. And with when you have removed that, you can basically connect these sets to each other. And together you have the entire lineup. But it's technically 3 sets. We have reviewed already 2 of them in the past. Actually, somebody else did it. And this is the first time I built it. It's quite a nice set. It looks beautiful. However, it's not easy to build. Keep that in mind. So this is especially the roof. This is basically something that after you've built it, you never want to touch it again because it has a certain tendency to fall apart. It's similar for the tree. And this is not just on the pieces. Obviously, I mean, yes, the pieces are not, let's say, the highest quality, if you will. This may be a bit more robust with, let's say, BlueBrixx pieces or maybe Lego, but it's also a very delicate design. It looks beautiful, but it's not easy to build and quite delicate. And in fact, this piece here, I was not able to attach because basically the entire construction did not leave enough room to connect this piece here down below to these two studs. But I mean, you could. There was a workaround, so no problem. But this is a problem that I was facing the entire time, so especially with the roof. But next to that, it's quite beautiful. There's a small lighting kit included as well. However, it's not deeply integrated into the design. Basically, the idea is, okay, just throw the cable in there, and then it looks nice. And it does, but it's not comparable to, for instance, what, I don't know, companies like Funhole are doing, where the lighting is deeply integrated into the set design. Really like this design, and because it is so because robustness is such a big issue, I mean, I think it's even adding to the look, because the roof is never looking really quite perfect. It's not easy to basically press everything into the studs, because the moment you press too heavy, basically the entire thing is exploding. But I think it's adding to the look. So overall, very nice set. Again, review is linked down below, podcast show notes, video description, depending on where you see or hear this. Anyhow, with that, we're moving on to MOCs of the week. And here I think we have a MOC, and this is so interesting because I saw this MOC. I've seen this one before. I think it's not a new one. It was, like, sync released a couple of months ago. However, based on my notes, I never talked about it in this show. So I'm not sure why. I think I recall I did, but my notes usually don't lie, so I don't know. Worms Crossing from Baldur's Gate 3, designed by ARK, 9,530 pieces, and this MOC needs every one of them. It's gonna cost you $25, so that's not on the cheap side, but it is a very large MOC. So my point of view, absolutely worth the money, and it looks beautiful. It has been, as you can see on these pictures, built in reality. It's an amazing display piece. I think from my point of view, if you go in the direction of architecture, fantasy, it is maybe the coolest MOC I've ever seen. I mean, the entire design of Worms Crossing is already pretty cool to begin with, and I think this MOC is doing it justing. Beautiful design by designer ARK. And then Legate of Legion has started a new line. So Legate of Legion, I've talked about his MOCs a lot in the past. Is usually doing these collections of multiple MOCs, like they did. This design did a lot of pirate stuff, Western town stuff. Star Wars was there, and usually and a lot of the Rings, Rohan. And usually it's in a collection, and typically at the end you can buy all of them together in a big package. Obviously you don't have to build all of them, but they always follow, let's say, a certain line and go very well together. So this is a new one. I just picked an example here, the Samurai Town Gate. So this is obviously medieval Japan, I think is the right way to pronounce it anyhow. This one here is 1,603 pieces. He's asking for $15, and yeah, same idea. So I'm really looking forward what else is coming in this line, but this one already looks quite promising. So if that is your cup of tea, I mean, Lego has never really done much when it comes to Japanese architecture and stuff. However, I think you should still be very fine with in the minifigure area due to Ninjago, of course, and all the Chinese sets that they have done in the past. So I think putting those two together, you should be able to get a decent minifigure lineup going as well. With that, we're moving on to Amon Hen and the Death of Boromir from JIESTAR. £9 for 1,417 pieces in the instruction. And this is a beautiful Lord of the Rings diorama that is on its own right a great MOC, but I think it also shows very well what maybe Lego should have done or should do. I mean, Barad-dûr was an okay set, but imagine instead of one Barad-dûr, they would have done like 6 or 7 of these dioramas. with a ton of minifigures in them. So basically what they did with Star Wars, right? This is, and maybe also a combination of architecture in a diorama and these minifigure-centric dioramas. This is so much cooler than, from my personal point of view, what LEGO has done. And yeah, I think this scene is captured very well indeed. It's interesting that they did Amon Hen and the Death of Boromir, because, I mean, yes, it is close. It is in the same ballpark in the storyline, but it's, for me personally, it's two dioramas, but nevertheless, creative way of combining these two looks really, really cool. And it's also, yeah, like I said, a great design, interesting color choice, good color choice. Looks very, very nice. Yeah, so here you go. And with that, we're moving on to RZ1 A-Wing Interceptor by Thomas Jenkins Briggs. $13 US for what I personally think, but keep me honest here, is maybe the coolest A-Wing design I have ever seen in minifigure scale. I guess this is minifigure scale. It looks a lot cooler than the old LEGO designs, a lot more sleek. Really like the proportions, the shapes, the angles. I guess it's not the most robust one. I mean, if I look here at these tiles in the front, they look like, okay, better not touch. But yeah, from an optical standpoint, it looks really beautiful. Based on the photos, I would say it has been built for real, which is always a good sign. So yeah, beautiful A-Wing design. Of course, $13 for instruction for 460 pieces, a bit on the high side, but it is a beautiful design. Currently I have no mock plans for anything where the A-Wing would fit in, but if I ever do so, I would definitely do it. And then, I'm a big Warhammer fan, so what can I do? For an unknown plague doctor, we have the Gaskell Thraka? No, I guess nobody knows how this is supposed to be pronounced. It doesn't matter. The orcs don't care. Anyhow, so if you're into Warhammer 40k, this may be your cup of tea. It is a beautiful design. However, it is a pure studio render. So I think there is no proof yet if this thing will actually hold together. It looks quite, I don't know, it doesn't come across as the most robust build, but it looks amazing for sure. So if you're into Warhammer, this may be yours, and the instructions are free of charge. And then from Smandal, I think, talked about these designs before, especially the Tavern Under the Snow, which I think was originally an Ideas entry many years ago, and is now available on Rebrickable, but next step is coming as well. This time it's called the Market Under the Snow. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the green roof, but next to that, again, beautiful building, and it is a building in the snow. You don't see these snow-related fantasy MOCs that much, but I really, really like it. And of course, both the tavern as well as the Market Under the Snow should go very well together with the Snow Mountain Winter Fortress. What was it called? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Bricklink Designer Program, current wave, now on the market. And this is like a winter-themed castle, and this should go very well together with these. Beautiful mock. 2,885 pieces though. But Samandal. I'm very sorry for not pronouncing this correctly. $12 and not too shabby. And then we have the Star Trek Original Series Sickbay and Decompression Chamber. Beautiful mark. Always a big fan of Star Trek dioramas. And nowadays, because BlueBrixx now has the Star Trek license, and they have announced that they will bring kind of like, in quotes, battle packs or character packs or minifigure packs, whatever you might call it, for Star Trek, then of course you have everything you need in order to basically fill this sick bay as well. And they have actually announced that they will bring also minifigures of the original series. So pretty cool stuff. Of course, you could also do what this designer Baron Sut has done here on the pictures, go with custom Lego oriented minifigures. But personally, I do think that the BlueBrixx figures are the perfect opportunity for this mock. Anyhow, The main issue that I see is that Baron Set is asking for $32. This is on a very high price for a mock design, but yeah, looks pretty cool. That was it already. I hope you liked the show. For those of you who watch this on YouTube, please leave a like or comment, or even better, subscribe to the channel. For all of the other listeners and viewers, depending on where you listen to or watch this show, please leave like, comment, subscribe, follow, I don't know, rate. It's called on differently on every platform, but I would really like to have your feedback. So please do that. And with that, thanks for listening. See you next week.